In this video, let's talk about what your credit report should look like. There's 6 important factors that go into what your credit report should look like in giving you something we call a thick profile. Now, many times people can have a high credit score but have a weak credit profile. How that is done is, say for instance, there's an 18-year-old kid that just is establishing their credit, and their parents have put them on their credit card as a user to be able to use their credit card. What that does is that helps them take on some of the positive things from that, their parents' credit scores, onto theirs, like the age. So if they have a credit card, their parents have a credit card that they've had for 10 years, and they put their son or their daughter on that particular card, their son or daughter now has on their credit report a credit card that has 10 plus years. So that helps the algorithm boost their credit score. So say they have 2 or 3 of those on their credit profile, and they also have a car loan on their profile. Now, the credit algorithm, or the algorithm to be able to determine their score, is going to show them having a 700 plus credit score, but they don't have primary accounts on their credit report. So when they don't have the primary accounts on their credit report, that means they have a weak profile. They have secondary trade lines on their account, but not primary. So having a strong credit profile is very important. Actually, it's more important than the actual credit score. So we're going to dive into how you can get a strong credit profile. First thing you have to understand is you have to have 100% payment history. The payment history is so important. It's one of the most important factors on your credit report. You do not want to have any late payments. Late payments hurt your credit report and your score more than any other factor, believe it or not. Having a late payment and a payment history of less than 100% will drop your credit score 35%. 35%. So if the highest you can get is an 850 and you drop your credit score 35%, it is going to tank your credit score. So making sure you pay your bills on time is so important. I highly recommend that you put all your credit card and all your payments that you have to have on auto pay for the least bare minimum, the minimum score. The minimum amount due. So make sure every single card you have, every bill you have, you at least have it on auto for the minimum amount due. That will essentially be able to help you, even if you don't have the money, remember that that payment is due so that you can at least put some money in your account to pay that. Payment history is so important. The second factor is credit card utilization. So if you have a credit card with a $10,000 credit limit and you're using 100% of that card, $10,000, and you haven't made a payment on that, your utilization is going to be at 100%. Now, if your utilization is at 100%, you're going to lose 30% of your credit score. So if you have an 850, you're losing 30% of your credit score potentially just by having such high utilization. So it's very, very important to get the utilization down. Now, there is a range that you should keep your utilization in. And let me explain utilization. You can use 100% of your credit card, but when it is due, you have to make sure that you're paying down that card. So say for instance, you have a $10,000 credit limit. If you pay $10,000 off before it's due, your credit utilization is going to go down, of course. There is one trick that you should know to be able to get it to report faster. Now, you should understand that you should have every credit card statement is going to have an open date and a close date. It is important to understand the close date because the close date is when the credit card company will report to the credit reporting agency, one of the big three, Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax. It will take a snapshot and it will say, this is how much this particular client has been using on their credit. When it goes to one of the big three, they're going to put that in their system with the algorithm, and that is going to affect your credit score for that month. So a good savvy trick is to make your credit card payment at least 3 days prior to the statement close date. So if you make your payment 3 days prior, then when they report to the actual credit reporting agencies, TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax, they're going to have your payment that goes into the algorithm, and that's going to help you for when your credit score comes out in the next 3 to 4 days after that. Now, I also mentioned to you to have the minimum payment on your credit cards as well. The minimum payment is really going to make sure that you don't accrue the interest that these cards are going to charge you for having that utilization on there. But if you make your payment 3 days prior to the statement close date, you're going to benefit your credit score and you're going to benefit not having to pay that interest. So making that simple adjustment, you will see a boost in your credit score right away. So highly recommend you do that. Also, utilization is also very important to keep it. If you're going to carry a balance and say for instance you can't pay your bill off in full that month, making sure that you have at a minimum of only 10% that you're carrying on is important as well. So if you have that $10,000 credit limit, you don't want to carry more than $1,000 of that balance. Otherwise, you're going to significantly start seeing it affect your credit score. So the optimal range for having your utilization is 1 to 6%. That right there, if you keep it between 1 and 6%, you're really going to help your actual score. Your credit score is going to actually go up. It actually helps it, having it between 1 and 6%, it helps it more than paying it off in full to 0%. So I want to make sure you understand that it's really heavy when we talk about utilization, but it's one of the most important factors, making sure you get your credit card utilization down. In the next episode, we're going to go over some of the different things that you can do to be able to get your utilization down.